Hey there friends, thanks for checking in. Today we're going to do a comparison with two famous John Browning designs. And over here we've got the Springfield Armory SA-35 versus the 1911 Operator chambered in 9mm. They have some similarities. They are very different. So we're going to get after that. Let's first talk about the SA-35. What an incredible clone this is from the original. If you look at the frame and then the slide, the barrel, the guide rod and recoil spring, you'll see that it very much mimics the P35. But this has some improvements that needed to be improved, and they made it all Springfield. Let's run through some of the features. We have a 4.7-inch barrel, an all steel frame. It has a matte blued finish to it. Alright, so no shine there. The sight system, serrated black rear sights and a front dot. It has a 15 round magazine, which is more than the original. And Mechgar makes a 15 round mag that will work just fine with the SA-35. So it does have aftermarket support in terms of the magazines. Wood checkered grips. It has some neat lines through there, vertical lines. Okay, it has a nice feel to it. It has a ring hammer and a 5.5 pound trigger. Now that is what I consider the greatest improvement with the SA-35. This breaks right at 5 pounds and it's a nice pull. And it does not have a magazine disconnect unlike the P35. The MSRP on the SA-35 is $7.99. So Springfield priced it right and they made an incredible handgun. I really enjoyed this at the range and I felt like right out of the case I was on target, and it was just a familiar platform for me. An incredible clone. They did a great job with it. But over here we've got the 1911 Operator. This one's chambered in 9mm. They modeled this after their own 1911 Operator in 45. So from this look, you will not notice the difference. The only difference is the chamber offering, and this has an 8 round magazine, and the 9mm has a 9 round magazine. But what a great handgun Springfield made here with the Operator. It also has an all steel frame and slide, both of them do, and it ships with two 9 round magazines. Right there we see a major difference. The 1911 Operator has an ambidextrous thumb safety, so it's left-handed friendly. The slide and frame is Cerakote black, and I love Cerakote because it is extremely durable, very strong, and I find that, you know, if you happen to drop your gun or anything, that protection is worth it because it takes a lot to make this scratch up. It has forward serrations that mimic the rear serrations, so people that do press checks can do that easily, and a 3-dot sight system. The rear sight has, it's serrated black with 2 dots up top and a tritium front dot, so some modern features here, along with the VZ G10 grips. Doesn't that look beautiful with that Cerakote black? Very nice overall feel. When I grip this, it's just all 1911. And that trigger pull, which is also all 1911, breaks right between 4 and 4 1/4 pounds when you drop the mag. And I love the 1911 trigger. I just find it to be incredible. Skeletonized trigger and hammer, extended beaver tail, grip safety. The backstrap, it has what Springfield calls an octo grip. It's very nice texturing, along with a smooth front strap, along with a Picatinny rail there to add any light that you want to it. But it's a 1911 chambered in 9mm. It's a good looking 1911, and much like the SA-35, when I took this to the range, I shot the lights out with it right out of the case. And that's one of the things I really enjoy with Springfield Armory handguns, is that they are made to shoot. They look beautiful, but they're made to shoot. And when you do, you certainly appreciate what you received from Springfield because they are very accurate. Let's talk about some of the similarities, then we'll talk about the differences. The similarities, both are single action 9mm handguns. They're both full size, constructed of forged steel, frame, slide, and barrels. Both are made by Springfield Armory. Incredible accuracy. I have no complaints with either. And both hold incredible historic value. But the differences are more substantial. We'll start with the magazines. The 1911 operator has a 9-round magazine. The SA-35 has a 15-round magazine. So you have to give it to the SA-35. Now, we're comparing this with a 9mm. If I brought out the Prodigy, that would change things. But in this comparison, we have a 6-round difference in favor of the SA-35. Let's take a look at the front straps. Both have a smooth front strap, but the back strap with the flat mainspring housing on the 1911 operator uses that octo grip where it is smooth with the SA-35. The grips G10, which I love. I think they're just great. And then over here we have a wood checker grips. That's not unusual with 1911s. If we look over here at my 1911 Garrison, chambered 9mm as well, you'll see that it has wood diamond checkering, but we see wood grips on 1911s all the time. So it's not that great of a difference, but in this comparison, it is. Here we have Cerakote black, a matte blue finish over here. If we look at the beaver tails, we'll see that there's quite a bit of a difference there. We'll see that the 1911 operator, a more modern design, sticks out there a little bit, and it has a grip safety as where this is a bit shorter on the SA-35, and then the thumb safety is on the left side only. Springfield made the thumb safety a little wider, easier to engage and disengage than the original P35, and it has a ring hammer, as I mentioned. Over here we have an ambidextrous thumb safety on the 1911 operator. Okay, a little more modern, making it left-handed friendly, and a skeletonized hammer. And then the sight system has 3-dot with a tritium front dot, as where the SA-35 serrated black with a front dot that is not tritium. The magazine release is positioned in the same area. Both can be engaged without having to change the grip angle of the pistol. So they actually feel very similar. So I could tell that Springfield used the same 1911 magazine release with the SA-35. But one of the greatest differences is going to be the trigger. And I did show it earlier, but it's worth mentioning again. Both are single action 9mm handguns, but that 1911 trigger breaks right at 4 pounds, sometimes 4 1/4, as where the single action here with the SA-35 breaks at 5.5 pounds, but the reset is much longer, almost a full position, has just a little bit of a take up. You hit a wall, no over travel at all, but it is a different trigger system. We can see they look different, but they actually feel different with a heavier weight and the single action lighter weight 1911 trigger. I'm giving it to the 1911. I just love that trigger pull. I don't know that any handgun out there will compare to a 1911 in terms of trigger pull. And in terms of the sights, as I talked about, I have to give it to the 1911 operator because it's more modern. It has the tritium front dot, which is always a bonus, never a downside. It's day and night sights. It has a ring around it, and you can pick it up in the daylight, no problem. In terms of the dust cover, you'll see that this is a high power copy and it does not have a rail, as where the 1911 operator does. It has a rail. So that's another modern feature, as well as the forward serrations that is absent with the SA-35. When we talk about disassemble, the 1911 has a few more steps, primarily because it has a barrel bushing that needs to be removed, and the barrel is removed from the fore end of the pistol, as where this is a little more traditional with the SA-35. The barrel length with the SA-35 is 4.7 inches, and with the 1911 operator, it's a 5-inch barrel. Not that great of a difference, but it is worth mentioning, and we'll see that the muzzle goes a little bit further, about a 1/2 inch longer with the 1911 operator. Let's get them on the scale. I have 2 magazines that are loaded up here, and we'll get the loaded weight with each. We'll start with, how about the SA-35? That's weighing in unloaded 29 3/8 ounces, 15 rounds in the Springfield magazine, and we're looking at 38 1/4 ounces with 15 rounds. And over here with the 1911 operator, the unloaded weight is 39 1/4 ounce, so we can see right there it's much heavier. 9 round mags, 45 3/4 ounces. So that additional length of the barrel, and even when you feel them side by side, you could just tell that the 1911 operator is a heavier pistol. The MSRP on these, as I mentioned, $7.99 with the SA-35 and $11.84 with the Springfield 1911 operator. The difference is $385 in favor of the SA-35. It's much less expensive, but the question comes down to, which one would you prefer more? So let's take a minute to talk about that. Both these shot very well at the range. I didn't have any malfunctions whatsoever. I've owned this longer. I've had more rounds through it, and I love the 1911s. However, the SA-35 shot incredibly well, and everything I shot, fed, fired, ejected, no issues. So if I had to choose one, it would be tough. This is less expensive by $385 according to the MSRP, but I would go with the 1911 operator. I'm a 1911 guy. I love everything about it. I would pay the additional money to get the 1911, that single action trigger. I would sacrifice the 6 rounds with that 9 round magazine, because when I shoot a 1911, it just hits home with me, and everything about it. It's just an amazing all-around handgun. So accurate. Love the SA-35. I love what Springfield did with the SA-35. I think they created a handgun that is highly desirable to many shooters, and the single action with both of these performed great. But I made my choice. What I really want to know is, which one would you choose? If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. I always appreciate the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and you guys be safe.